the backend tech, what happened if something breaks, who manages the backend registry. For that, I'd like to invite my friend and colleague from Identity Digital, Patrick. Patrick is with is the head of RSP sales at Identity Digital, and they currently work with most of the large dot brands who use their backend registry. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Vinay. Much appreciated. I guess while we're pulling up the slides, my name is Pat Donaldson. I work at Identity Digital. As Vinay said, I am the director of RSP sales for the backend registry, which I'm about to talk about here. But I'm also a director of our Australian entity in Melbourne. We look after the Australian country code .au, so we also manage the critical infrastructure in Australia. And so we'll get into a little bit about that, of some of the certifications that we also serve with being a registry services provider. So again, thanks LdotR, the ministry, NIXI, Cum Laude, and ICANN for being here as well. It's really exciting to get everyone. This is pretty much the whole component of how this new program will work, and everyone's here getting a real taste of it. So I'm really excited to be here and talk you through how this RSP program works. Samiran kind of brought it up earlier and kind of mentioned he'd leave it to me to talk about. But a big role, when you become a registry operator, there is a technical component. And part of that technical component, is you have to manage the database of domain names. So when you create your brand and it gets delegated into the root by ICANN, you have to tell LdotR, if they're working with you, hey, I want to create these names, and we'll maintain those names for you. We'll renew those domain names for you. We'll delete those names for you if you don't want them anymore. It's your .brand. You can do whatever you want with it, but you need a technical services provider to make that work. And then there's also the key component of managing the DNS. So when we manage the authoritative name server for every single .brand that you would apply for and get into the root by ICANN. And we also manage the actual DNS of making the top level work. So I like to describe the DNS as the backbone of the internet. So without DNS, it's like air. You can't breathe without DNS, right? So when you're on your ISP and you go to a resolver, they're looking for answers so they can deliver that website back to your computer. So what we do is, if you have a zone with us, so .digital is one of our zones, we manage that part of .digital, and then your hosting provider will manage the DNS for your second level, and so on. So the DNS is a very complex thing, and that's what we do. So in a nutshell, before I get started, I just want to say that we take care of all the hard bits of running a TLD, and we let you do the fun part of actually managing it and figuring out what you want to do with it, how you want to market it. So leave the technical bits to us. You go have fun with it and run with it. So let's just get started on what we exactly do at a registry. Okay, so I'm going to take you through an agenda really quick. We'll go through a company overview, products and benefits, services that we offer. And we offer actually a lot of services, but we're going to put this on .brand specifically for today's meeting. We also manage country codes and gTLDs as well. I'll go through just quickly the sustainability goals that we have, and then why partner with us. So we are a leading registry service provider. We participated in the 2012 round. Before that, we were a company called Donuts. We applied for a few hundred of these extensions, all generic, of course. So if you can think of a subject, we might have that extension to the right of the dot. So we own things like .world, .live, .info, .pro, .bio, .studio, .digital. We run and manage all those TLDs, and as the RSP, we provide services to make those TLDs work. And we also provide services to country codes like Australia and Anguilla for .ai. You may have heard about .ai lately, of just going really well. And we also provide services to gTLDs like .org, which is one of the biggest gTLDs in the world. As I mentioned before, we take all the guesswork out. We are a turnkey registry solution. So once you get put into the root by ICANN, we handle the rest. And we are a security leader. So we have over 260 staff dedicated to everything in security related to RSPs and registry operations. In fact, in Australia, as part of managing critical infrastructure, we have ISO certifications. We have an ISO 27001 certification, which is security ISMS. We have ISO 22301, which is a disaster recovery, which is basically making sure our systems are working over twice a year. We're just doing disaster recovery drills twice a year to maintain that certification. We have an ISO 9001 certification, which is just about quality management systems to make sure your services are up to line and on par with what you say they're going to do. And we also follow the ISO 31000 standard, which is basically reporting requirements on how you actually report them. We're a pioneer in DNSSEC deployment. So there's the DNS that I just mentioned earlier, but there's also DNSSEC, which is a security extension that basically makes the resolver look for exactly what the person's intending to doing, and it just deletes man-in-the-middle attacks. I can go on a whole long conversation on DNSSEC, so if you want to grab me and talk more about that later, I just want to make sure this conversation goes long, but we are a pioneer in that. We signed one of the first zones in DNSSEC with .org. It was the biggest zone at that time, and all of our TLDs are signed, including your .brand domain names that you would apply for. By the numbers. So where's the pointer on this? Is it the middle button? Middle. Middle, okay. So who are we as a registry? What do we represent? Well, we have 31 million names across our 270 top-level domains that we run and operate, and the 200 or so top-level domains that we provide services to outside of ours. So that's 31 million, which makes us the #1 registry service provider in the industry in terms of clients, and we're the actual #2 registry operator in terms of total domains under management. The leading registry operator will be the one that runs .com. They're called VeriSign. So we're a bit far off. There are about a few 100 million .com domains out there, but hopefully we can catch them one day. When I mentioned the DNS infrastructure, we have an Anycast DNS service, so that's also supplied to you. So we're in 80 locations around the world, and we also have a secondary provider. So basically, when your computer looks up from your ISP, we have DNS nodes close to your region where it'll ping very quickly, so you can get within milliseconds, a blink of an eye, just to get a return back for your website. And as I mentioned before, we have over 260 employees. Our headquarters are in Washington in the US, and we have offices in New Delhi, Los Angeles, Toronto, Melbourne, where I'm based, Dublin, and Beijing. Just a little bit more about us and why we're positioned well to serve US .brands and anyone else that's applying for a new gTLD. We're fully focused and dedicated to the domain industry. This is all we do. This is all we're interested in, and this is all we're going to continue to be interested in. We have an experienced leadership and senior management team with decades of experience in this industry. A lot of us have been around for a long time. In fact, we, at our organization, we have representation on basically every single ICANN constituency, including the Registry Stakeholder Group, the Registrar Stakeholder Group, the Security and Stability Committee. Our CEO, Akram Atala, used to be in a leadership position at ICANN. So in terms of policy and framework, we know what we're doing, and we're here to keep you running efficiently and smoothly. This is just a sample of the 470 TLDs that are on our platform. So on the left here are just basically clients that we serve. So .org, I mentioned them before. .info, that's just one of ours. .asia, this is .org in Hindi. So we actually talked about IDNs earlier. I think Sariam brought those up. So basically in IDNs, if you have 22 IDNs already here in India as well, we can make a .brand in basically any language that you like, which is basically a non-ASCII character. So we're happy to do that as well if you wanted to talk to LdotR about applying for an internationalized domain name at the top level. .brand TLDs, to be fair, there's probably 15 TLDs in India for .brands. I think we have about 90% of them, but here's some of them that we have. We have .tvs, .sbi, and .geo. We also have some bigger major brands here. And then for CCTLDs, I think we have about 15 to 20 on our platform. .AU is one of our biggest ones, and .AI is just doing very well at the moment. And then we have smaller, so it really doesn't matter what size you are. If you happen to run a big brand TLD and you want to have thousands of domain names on your portfolio, or frankly, if you just want one and just want to run your main site off it, we're happy to work with you no matter what the size of your organization is. So I didn't really mention this, but part of our system is we're 100% cloud-based. We're actually one of the biggest registry operators to be 100% on the cloud. And in fact, we're the only one of our size to be on the cloud. We think there's a huge advantage of it. There's scalability. We have more resilience now against regional outages if something were to occur. Some of our disaster recovery efforts, which I brought up earlier about our 22301 certification, we can migrate our system from one region to another very quickly based on A, doing the drills, and B, just being on the cloud. And then we also have multi-layer security, which protects the operation, so we can actually focus on other things as opposed to just letting the cloud provider take care of it. As mentioned before, we're trusted by governments and companies of all sizes, and we're the only registry operator running on AWS of our size. So what do you get with us? So when you come to our platform, these are just a few of the services that are pretty standard, but we want to make sure that you know what you're getting. So you get delegation and migration support of your TLD. So once ICANN approves you and it's time to go into they delegate you into, IANA puts you into the root zone, we are managing it from day one there. It's really easy to maintain for us for a standard, so you can focus on your actual TLD. We're a modern EPP registry system using AWS Cloud. So EPP is just basically a standard protocol that we connect to registrars with. We come with abuse monitoring and mitigation services. As a .brand, as we keep saying, you're really not going to find abuse inside your zone because you're managing it yourself. You're not letting outside registrants do that, but that is also part of our services. As I mentioned before, you get DNS and DNSSEC support, so we'll sign your zone accordingly. We'll handle regular deposits of escrow, so you have to have an escrow provider. We'll take care of those deposits for you. We do WHOIS RDDS support as required by ICANN. I mentioned IDNs already. And then, like I said, we take care of it for you. We give you full compliance of all your registry operations as is detailed in your ICANN agreement. So, like as I mentioned, this TLD really is for you to work to see, to get it marketed and really put it out in the wild. And we have 24/7 technical support and account management. And by technical support, we are available via phone, email, and chat, 24/7. Sustainability is a big deal for us. In Australia specifically, I manage that myself. So we're constantly trying to look with our partners. So if there's an initiative that you have as a .brand and you want to maybe get some registry support, we're always looking for partners in that regard. So in Australia, we were approached by an organization called Trillion Trees, and we're planting 25,000 trees over the next 4 years. So we're actually planting 6,250 of them as part of the first year, I think, at the end of this month. We sponsor Indigenous fellowships, so we are very active in our local IGF. So an IGF is called an Internet Governance Forum. So we support roughly 3 fellows each year to come and learn about internet governance and why they should be involved. And for the last 3 years we've been running it, we have a number of repeat visitors coming back because they found it very important. It is a really important initiative, and if you have a local IGF in India, which I believe you do, you should definitely get more involved there. It's really interesting. We have cloud-based efficiency, so that really reduces our data footprint, and then obviously we reduce waste responsibly, like most people should. So partnership. Why should you work with us? Well, don't take it from me, hear from our partners. We run Australia. This is from Bruce Tonkin. He's the CEO of .au at the moment. He was just got appointed as CEO just a few months back. We're reliable and effective operator, shares unwavering commitment to global best practice, cybersecurity, and reliable registry services. This is for .org, one of the biggest gTLDs in the world. This is from Rick Wellham, who's the CTO of Public Interest Registry. We've been servicing .org for 19 years and have been delivering impeccable service and 100% uptime on DNS. And then I just thought it would be great to get a local .brand here. So .tvs provided this reference for us, which is lovely. We are pleased to be working with Identity Digital, a recognized leader in registry technology. We have a long, deep, and positive relationship, which has made it much easier for them to manage. So that's basically it in a nutshell. You know, we want to work with you. We don't care what your size is. If you want to, you know, as mentioned, if you just want to have it just to have it, we're happy to work with you. If you want to have it and just run your main website off of it, or those interesting initiatives that Stuart was talking about, just different use cases for your TLD, doesn't matter. We want to work with you, and we'd love to partner with you. And like I mentioned before, from compliance to backend infrastructure, we handle everything behind the scenes so you can focus on the fun stuff. And there's a lot of it. That's my presentation. Thank you very much.